Again, my name is Enrique Rodriguez and Leti. We are the pastors, the senior pastors at our community church in Oasis in Matamoros. And my wife would love to say something with you.
Hi, anchorchapel. It's a great blessing for us to be here. And I would like to share something about the things that we are doing in Matamoros. We are in Oasis, pastor in that church for almost 15 years. So it's a great blessing for me, for us, for all the family, the Rodriguez family, that they are working together there. And this is a blessing for us. Thank you for receiving us. Thank you, pastors, for your hospitality and for everything. I feel at home. And my husband is going to share something with you. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. When we drove from Matamoros, Mexico, we drove all the way to Kerrville, Texas, and then we drove from Kerrville, Texas to Spring, north of Houston, and then from Spring all the way here. And the most challenging part was going through the highways, huge highways. We don't have those back in Matamoros, so it was a challenge. But you know what? I had my wife, and she was telling me, go here, go there, go here, go there. And then I was just driving and scared, go here, go there. We're not very used to those highways, but thank God we are here. And then when we got here, we got Pastor Red with us, and he gave me a huge hug. I feel like I'm family. We're like a family here. So thank you so much. Again, I'm gonna introduce ourselves. We are Leti and Enrique Rodriguez. We are ministers and the community in the city of Matamoros. And we are the founders, by the grace of God, of this church, Oasis Community Church. And I would love to start introducing you our family. If we can go to the next slide, I'm going to start from left to right. First, we have our son-in-law. His name is Jose, and also Damaris. They live in Columbus, Nebraska, and they are working there. And we have our grandchildren, little Camila. Right now, she is 3 years old, and our daughter is pregnant. She's waiting for a baby boy in the month of March, Lord willing. So we have a baby cooking just right there in a few months to come. And then we have our daughter, Angelo. She is a nurse, and she lives with us in Matamoros. And also we have Luis and Julia. They have 2 babies. The little baby boy, his name is Adam, and then you can see their little Emma. And the 2 guys, handsome guys sitting just right there is just Letty and me. But we have a huge privilege to be here with you and introduce you, our family. Just like Letty said, we are so honored by the grace of God to be working together at some point. And when the kids were so little, and they get into also the ministry, and now they are doing their own families. But Letty and I, of course, we stay together, and we are doing our ministry, our call in Matamoros. I'm going to go to the next slide, please. We are church planters. We do 3 things there. Number 1, church plant. We do a feeding program, and we also do a church plant missions. I'm going to go one by one, and these are the churches that we are planted there in Matamoros. But first of all, I would like to share how I got involved in missions, how I got involved in to be a pastor, a senior pastor in Matamoros. Let me start by saying that we got married in 1989. It's going to be almost 34 years this December. So, in 1990, I'm sure that many of you weren't born that day, but it was 1990 when I was graduated as a civil engineer in the faculty in Tampico City, and I had to travel a lot to work as a civil engineer. At one season, I had with my wife, and I had little Luis Enrique. He was like a 1 year old or something like that. But I was going to work like from 6 a.m. all the way to 10 p.m. And that was a lot of work, a lot of hours outside of home, and I was not doing well, not even emotionally or spiritually. It was a tough time of our lives. So anyway, I was so tired, and I had a relationship with the Lord, and I asked him, Lord, when will you stop this? I would like to work for you full time. You know what? We need to be very careful with what we ask the Lord. Few weeks later, they let me go at my work. And it had a purpose. I really believe when I am on the other side, I really believe that the Lord was working in the middle of everything. He was going to bring me back to my hometown for a purpose. And this was the purpose. So that job finished. I came back to my hometown, to my home church in the city of Tampico. And one day, my pastor gave an announcement, and he said to all the congregation, we are going to host a mission trip with a missionaries coming from the state of Nebraska, from the city of Omaha. And I was very excited to hear that we were going to receive missionaries, white missionaries from Nebraska, and that we were going to have them in our church. And the whole church was very moved, we were very impacted. The whole place where we live at that season, they were very impacted. We were waiting for the day to come when they will arrive to our parking lot. Anyway, the pastor asked me, invited me to be one of the translators. Of course, I did not speak English. I just passed my test at the school just because I had to learn a little bit of English to pass my test. Anyway, poquito. Anyway, I had to learn it, poquito, and then we were waiting for the date because we were excited. The day came, and the night of one of those days of the summer, 5 15-passenger vans arrived to our parking lot in the church in Tampico. And we all, the church, were there, and when we saw them coming out of their vans, their vehicles, we only saw white people, just like a milk. They were just invading. They were just invading our community. There were like 40 people. And you know what? They were very young missionaries, very young teenagers, 14 years old, 15, 16 years old. And they were very obedient to the Lord. And they came from so far away. They came all the way to our church, to our congregation. When they were there, they were doing evangelism door to door. They were doing construction. They were doing vacation Bible school, sports ministry, visiting an orphanage. They were doing a lot of work that we as a church were supposed to be doing. And we were a little bit lazy. We received them as missionaries, and then we say, oh, we have to do that too. We have to do that too. So anyway, I was one of the translators, and we went door to door one day. And I had 6 students with me, 5 or 6 students with me. They were teenagers. They supposed to come with me because we were going to go door to door, knocking on doors, people in the community. And we did it. We went and find this young lady who was very excited because we were knocking at her door. Anyway, she comes out, she stands facing us, and also another old lady. She was maybe 70 years old or something, but it was the grandmother. It was her grandmother. Anyway, I have the lady here, the young lady in front of me. I had 5, 6 students that were with me. I asked her permission so one of the students could share her testimony with her. And then she said, yes. I have the student. I asked her, come share your testimony, your personal relationship with the Lord. And she did bravely. She did a very, very, very good job. She spoke the word of God. She shared about the love of God. And then she started leading her and the prayer to accept Jesus into her heart. When she got to the point of saying, Jesus, I receive you in my heart, she was not able to do it. She just fall down to the floor. She passed out. And we didn't know what happened. What happened? What had happened? We didn't know. And then we asked the grandmother, and she said, oh, she fell down because she is a Pandora box. What does that mean? I asked her. She said, oh, it's spirits comes inside of her, and spirits goes outside of her. Spirits comes inside of her, spirits comes outside of her. And that's why she passed out. She was not able to say, I accept Jesus into my heart. So as I could, I explained the students that were with me. And they started to pray, to rebuke, to cast out, praying and praying and praying. And then the lady spoke, but she spoke to me. She didn't spoke to them. She, with a different tone of voice that I never heard before. Some very Latin or accents from South America saying something like, you don't have any authority to do this. Very, very different voice from her original voice. So anyway, I started praying and praying and praying and praying. And then she fall down again to the floor. And then we knew what's going on. And then we started praying again and praying again. She stood up again. He spoke to us in a different tone of voice, saying, my cousin which is in heaven, he is the only one who can do this. But different tone of voice. She wanted to distract us from what we wanted to pray for her to accept Jesus into her heart. She fell down 3 times. And at the 3rd time, she stood up. And then she was able to do the prayer. She accepted Jesus into her heart. So that was a tremendous experience that I had to go through going with these students. I did not know English. I just knew poquito. And then when we went back to the church, I was so impacted of those teenagers being obedient to the Lord, that I also wanted to become a missionary with them or with the organization, with the mission. I wanted to be doing the same. I expressed my desire to the director of the mission, and the director of the mission smiled. He just smiled at me. And he said, come here, brother Enrique. Let's bring your pastor. My pastor came, and another youth leaders came, and they lay hands on me because I wanted to be a missionary with them. They knew that if I was being called by the Lord, I had to raise my own funds for personal living expenses because I had left my job, or they did let me go at the original place in Piedras Negras, and I had to learn the language because I knew very poquito. I knew very, very little. So they lay hands on me, they pray, and then they didn't say something like, come work with us, come, you are like this, like that. No. Months went by, and one day I got a phone call. They wanted me to come and fix one of the bridges. See, the missions camp was in Matamoros, still is in Matamoros, and in order to enter the community where the missions base is, they have a bridge, and that bridge was falling apart, and I was a civil engineer, and then they invited me to come and help out by repairing a reinforcement, to make a reinforcement of that bridge. It was a concrete bridge, still there, doesn't fall down or anything. It's been there. And then little by little, I was working with them as a construction coordinator and also as a translator. I got to the point where God gave me grace and His favor, and I learned a little bit more English, and the organization allowed me to lead mission trips. I became, they say, one of their finest, I didn't say that, they say that, project leaders. I had the opportunity to bring mission trips to Ensenada, Tijuana, Tampico, Peru, Guatemala, Dominican Republic, and it was so great and amazing time of my life. I was living the time of my life. And then at one point, the Lord start burning something else in my heart about church planting. I told the organization what I was going to do next. They did let me go. They allowed me to go. And then my wife and I started the church that you see there, Oasis in Marta Rita. We started as a small group, and little by little, we were building the church physically and also spiritually, the congregants. So, by the way, I'm going to take this opportunity to thank you, church, because this church looks very nice because you provided for that. We painted the church from the outside, inside, and the back, and we also put the logo on it. It was another logo, but we did another logo because now our church is a community. It's a church community. And Oasis, before it was Oasis of Blessing, now it's just Oasis Community Church. We also inside, thanks to you, thanks God, we were able to do a youth classroom inside. We painted the walls, and the bathroom we did put the ceiling, and we are about to put some doors, and also we're going to be working in the main entrance. This November 12th, we will be 15 years of having the church there, and we are going to celebrate, Lord willing. We have the Church of Lagunas, where we have some pastors that work in our ministry, and they are ministering there as I speak. And then this community is very special because many people come there to this community and they invade. I like this land, just put a house there. The government, later they fix things with the government and they start paying their land, but they just go there and possess the land. It's just no water, no paved roads, sometimes no bathrooms, many things happening in this community. Let's go to the next one. The next church. Then we have the Church of Tejeda, where Pastor Pete and the leaders went there back in February or March, and they did a grocery bags distribution there. We had an amazing time. We also had a church in Laureles, another community. We are working with Pastor Amalia and Marcos, and it's just an amazing time. We have 6 churches. We have presented to you 4. We missed the other two churches. But I want to give you a challenge just right here, just at this very moment, for you to pray for our ministry, because Letty and I are looking for a couple pastor, man and his wife, to come and work with us by being to plant another churches and to pastor the pastors as well. Go and visit the churches that we have established. Go and help. And we want help. We need a pastor and his wife to come and work there with us. Of course, I know it's a challenge, but maybe that couple is sitting there. Or maybe it's sitting there. Or maybe it's sitting there. But of course, Spanish is needed. No poquito. No poquito. Well, at least 50%. At least 50%. But please pray. That's a challenge for Anchor Chapel to pray for us. And it could be from Mexico or Honduras. It could be from, I don't know, wherever the Lord has this couple. I know this couple will come one day and the Lord will provide this couple for our ministry, so we can become now pastors of the pastors. And now we're doing that job, but we're kind of very busy. We're very busy now at Oasis, and we would love to have free hands in order to do all what we are intending to do. In the next 5 years, we should be able, I think, in the next 5 years, I think we will be able to be 10 churches. I mean, another 4 churches, Lord willing. Let's go to the next slide, please. One of the programs that we do in Matamoros' name is Vacation Bible School. My wife is like a fish in the water with Vacation Bible School. She is the director. She's got staff, of course. She prepares everything, the crafts, the drawings, the copies. She goes to get trained in the month of March, and she is just doing a lot of work with the Vacation Bible School. And we know that when we plant the seed of God in the hearts of these good hearts, I mean the children, at one point they will remember what it was planted in the past in their lives. And we really enjoy this time with the kids. This summer, we were able to do five BBS. So every night when we come back home, so we just hit the sack. We just went, take a bathroom, a shower, and then go to the bed directly because it was very, very tiring. But we were so happy in order to be able to be doing all of that program. 5 weeks. It was crazy. Let's go to the next slide, please. Vámonos. And these are part of the staff. These are part of the pastors that are working with us. We have Juan and Liliana, they're pastors at Lagunas. Marcos and Amalia, they're pastors in Laureles. Pastor Lázaro and Ceci Velázquez, they're pastors at Blessing Church. And Rocio and Carmen, leaders of Oasis Tejeda. And the 2 guys up there, I don't know if you know them, but they're here. And we have Sister Rocio, this 12th of November, Lord willing, we are going to ordain her during our celebration, because we're going to have a celebration the 12th of November. We're going to have music, a lot of food, and mariachis. That's just amazing. We're going to have a very good time, and we are going to pray for Sister Rocio. We're going to ordain her just before the congregation, and the other churches will come too. Maybe not all the members, because we wouldn't fit in the building, but some members of the other churches will come there and be part of the celebration. Let's go to the next slide, please. We have the number 2 thing we do, or the number 2 ministry we do is Helping Hands Free Food Distribution, Manos que Ayudan. Specifically, we give plates of food most of the times at the end of the service in the church of Tejeda. And we also did this during the pandemic in 2020. We went out in my truck. We went out to the communities and gave away plates of food, lots and lots of plates of food. And our sisters from the church were cooking, and they were so blessed by cooking for people that were going to receive a plate of food. Of course, in our church in Marta Rita, we also give clothing. We have lots of clothing the other day with a lot of T-shirts. We posted on Facebook on the local group, and many people came, pick up those T-shirts. Now, brothers, yes, some were brothers and sisters, but some other people were from the community. We just gave them away. And give them a tract, a flyer. We invite them to come to church, so they know we are just right there. And the next and the last one, it's Church Plant Missions. Church Plant Missions, it's an organization, or it's something we form or equip in order to host mission trips from the States. We host them because we want to connect the sending church with the local church in Matamoros or in Tampico. And the ministries we are doing during this time of church plant mission trip, it's sports evangelism, BBS, worship services, living water, door-to-door, and feeding program. So if you are going to do next, at some point down the road, a mission trip, I ask you to prepare your testimony. And when you are in the mission field, Your own environment, by the way, could be your mission field. Just don't be afraid. Share your testimony because you never know who you will be impacting, because the Lord can use those words to impact people. Just like I was impacted by those teenagers. I mean, they were 14, 15, 16 years old, and they impacted me so much that I wanted to become like them for real. And the last that I have there is a letter for you. Dear friends, thank you for your prayers, for the work we do. We appreciate your partnership and reaching out for the kingdom of God. Your generosity enables us to continue our efforts and making a difference. You are truly a gift from the Lord to our ministry. Thank you so much. Respectfully, Enrique and Letty Rodriguez. Thank you so much, church. And let me tell you, sometimes God provokes things to happen to us because He has a purpose for us. At the time when I lose my job, I didn't see the will of God at first, but all what I saw was a black cloud that was just here. How am I gonna pay my bills now? And I didn't see the light that I was behind the cloud. So now I can say, thank you, Lord, for letting me go from that job, because what I do now is just the time of my life. Thank you so much, Anchor Chapel. May the grace of God and His favor be with you. God bless.